My read aloud today is Remembering for Both of Us by Charlotte Wood. I met Charlotte years ago at a book festival in Danville, Virginia, at a coffee shop called Brewed Awakening. It was owned by John and Bonnie Hale. Brewed Awakening isn't there anymore, but the memories of the great book festivals they held right across the street from the Danville Science Center and right in the historic Danville area, the memories still remain, and the area is still a great place to visit if you're ever in the vicinity, especially the Science Museum. I also met Charlotte's brother Tommy, and the three of us got along so swimmingly, and the beauty of their souls was so contagious that we ended up exchanging books, and Tommy gave me this beautiful placard that he made with these wonderful and inspiring words. Both sides have a meaningful word on them, and I have alternated the words over the last several years with whatever I feel is maybe lacking in my life or that I need to be more conscious of. So I really love this memento of my meeting of Charlotte and Tommy. Her book, Remembering for Both of Us, is inspired by her real life experience with her granddaughter when her husband was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, and he slowly lost a lot of his memories. We don't want to hurt our children. We want to protect them and not make them feel sad, but in doing so, sometimes those kids can feel really left out and really lost, and that's kind of what the book says to me. So I hope that you enjoy it. Remembering for Both of Us.
Tasha's grandfather loved it whenever Tasha came to visit. He would wait for her on the front lawn, and before her mother's car could even stop, he would excitedly call to Grandmom, "Honey, they're here!" Precious Little Girl was the name he had lovingly given his first grandchild when he held her for the first time. Now he would rush to greet her, sometimes with candy, toys, or other treats. Precious Little Girl was happy to see her papa, too. They always did fun and exciting things together. Grandmom and Papa were very happy to take care of Tasha while her parents were at work. They enjoyed helping Tasha and seeing her grow and learn. They saw her take her first steps. Her grandparents taught her lots of things: how to put on her shoes and tie the laces, to wash her hands and say grace before eating, to eat her vegetables and drink milk because it would make her healthy. And of course they taught her to say please and thank you and to always be kind to others. Tasha learned quickly, but sometimes she forgot. Papa told her to always wait for him before feeding the cat. One day she tried to do it herself, and milk spilled everywhere. But Papa and Grandmom were patient and explained again why it was important to pay attention and listen carefully to them. No one had to tell Tasha to pay attention when Papa opened up his big red toolbox. Tasha would ask, "What is that? What does it do? What's that funny-looking thing?" As Papa looked through his many shining and oddly shaped tools, he would patiently stop to answer her questions. "You need the right tool to fix something right," he would often say. And when he allowed her to hold or hand him something, she was so proud. Papa loved working on projects and fixing things. Sometimes Tasha would help or watch him from a safe distance. He built and painted birdhouses. Sometimes he worked under the hood of his van, whistling while his tools clinked. Papa also took Grandmom and Tasha on many trips in the van. He told them jokes and stories. Talking, laughing, and singing made the trips special. Papa and Precious Little Girl always had a special relationship, but as time passed, some things changed. Tasha now had a little brother and baby sister, and when Tasha was 10 years old, her grandparents moved to a new house across town. She missed them picking her up from daycare and taking her home. Now she took the bus. Tasha was getting used to these changes, but there was something else changing that she did not understand, and this troubled her. Papa was changing. Now when Tasha and her family visited her grandparents, it was Grandmom who called out, "Look who's here," not Papa. Instead, he looked sad or confused. He didn't do fun things with Tasha anymore. He asked questions over and over. He once put his keys in the refrigerator, and another time he poured milk in the sugar bowl. One day he even put his shoes on the wrong feet. Tasha noticed Grandmom looking out for Papa as he had done once for Tasha. Grandmom would patiently answer his questions. She would tell him how to do things, what to do, and what not to do. "That's not your coat, honey. Close the door behind you. Turn off the water in the sink." When Tasha asked her parents what was happening to Papa, they didn't seem to want to talk about it. But Tasha could tell that they were worried too. Why did Grandmom look so upset when Papa forgot things? Why was Papa so irritable? She didn't understand what was happening to Papa, not one bit. At breakfast one day, Tasha's mother said she had good news to share. Papa is going to an adult daycare center. Tasha's little brother giggled and said, "Papa's going to daycare like me?" Before Tasha could ask why, her dad explained. "It's a daycare for grown-ups. Papa will have fun there, just like you do at your daycare." "May I stay with Grandmom while Papa is at adult daycare on my next school break?" Tasha quickly asked. "I can keep her company while he's gone." "That's a great idea," her dad said. On the day Tasha came, Grandmom greeted her with a big hug, but Papa didn't. He didn't say, "Hello, precious little girl." He just sat silently in his chair. When it was time to go to the adult daycare center, Grandmom had to help Papa get ready. "Put on your cap," she told him. "Here is your jacket." Whoops, wrong arm. When they got into the car, Grandmom drove. Papa asked where they were going over and over. Grandmom answered patiently. She reminded him of all the fun he would have with his friends. Still, no matter what Grandmom said, Papa seemed upset. Leaving Papa at the daycare was not easy. "Have fun, enjoy your friends," Grandmom said. "We'll be back after lunch." Grandmom tried to sound cheerful, but Tasha could tell she was nervous because Papa looked so unhappy. On the ride home, both Tasha and Grandmom were quiet. There was none of the talk and laughter that Tasha used to look forward to. They just listened to quiet music on the radio. Sometimes Grandmom tried to hum along. What was happening to Papa? Tasha wondered how she could get the answers she wanted, as Grandmom wondered how she could better explain it all to Tasha. When they got home, Tasha and Grandmom said, almost at the same time, "Now what can we do?" Seeing their little gray cat waiting for them helped brighten their mood. Grandmom had an idea. "Let's work on that scrapbook you got for your birthday." It didn't take long to find it in the back room. They also found a craft box filled with glue and scissors and all the supplies they needed. "And look, Tasha," said Grandmom, "here's a bag of Papa's favorite peppermints. They can be our treat while we work." Grandmom and Tasha sat down and began going through the family pictures. The pictures reminded them of all the fun things they had done as a family. Tasha was full of questions. "Is that really me as a baby? Who's that? Where are we in this picture? Remember this? What an exciting day that was." Looking at the pictures and talking about the fun times made the sad feelings disappear. Then Tasha found a picture of herself and Papa standing in front of a brick building. It was a picture of her first day of daycare. The picture reminded Tasha of dropping Papa off at the adult daycare center. Tasha turned to Grandmom and asked, "What's really happening to Papa?" Grandmom was grateful for the chance to talk seriously to Tasha about Papa. This was the moment both of them had been waiting for. Grandmom took Tasha's hand. She said, "Papa has something called Alzheimer's." "Alzheimer's?" Tasha tried to say the word. "What's that?" "It's the name of a disease that some adults get when they grow older. It's a disease that makes you lose your memory," Grandmom answered. "At first you forget everyday things, like combing your hair or turning off the faucet. Then you begin to forget how to do things, even things you once enjoyed doing and did well. You stop recognizing the people you love. They become like strangers to you, and that's very frightening." Tasha thought about it. She tried hard to imagine what it would be like not to know anyone or how to do anything. She looked at the picture again and remembered her first day at daycare. She had not known how to do the things her teacher had wanted her to do. At first, she had not even known who the other kids were or where anything was. She remembered how scary that had been. She wondered if that was how Papa felt now. "Can doctors make him better?" Tasha asked Grandmom. "Well, there are medicines that help, and going to adult daycare helps him because Papa gets to exercise, to be active and get help from people trained to work with Alzheimer's patients. But there is no cure. Yet." As Grandmom said this, it looked as if she might cry. "Is there anything I can do to help?" Tasha asked, patting Grandmom on the shoulder. Grandmom began to smile. "Of course. Maybe you can help him with something he has forgotten how to do, or work on crafts with him. These are ways to show how much you love him, Tasha." Tasha nodded. She was beginning to understand what was happening to Papa and what she could do to help him. They kept working on Tasha's scrapbook, picking out their favorite photos and gluing them to the pages. Tasha decorated the pages with colored markers. Lastly, she drew a red heart in the corner of each page. Soon it was time to pick up Papa. Tasha slipped something into her pocket as they were leaving. When they saw Papa, Tasha ran to him and gave him a big hug. Then she reached into her pocket and pulled out the peppermint candy she'd brought. "Papa, here's a treat for you." She handed him the peppermint candy. Papa took it, unwrapped it, popped it into his mouth, and said, "Thank you, precious little girl." He was smiling now and seemed happy to see Tasha and Grandmom. At that moment, one of the caregivers asked Papa to show them what he had done during craft time. Papa hesitated at first, but then proudly held up a scrapbook page he had decorated. Grandmom and Tasha could hardly believe their eyes. "Papa, that design you made is just like the ones we did today," said Tasha. Grandmom agreed. The colors were the same, and each corner had pretty red hearts. Everyone was amazed and happy at what had just happened. Knowing more about what was happening to Papa made Tasha want to show him even more love and attention. However, Grandmom could still see sadness in Tasha's eyes whenever she visited. When Tasha spoke to Papa, he would look at her, but usually he would say nothing. How could Grandmom help her grandchild understand that while Papa was changing, his love for Tasha had not? The answer she'd been praying for came to Grandmom one weekend as she and Tasha were preparing their favorite pancake breakfast. She thanked Tasha for being extra kind to Papa and for setting a good example for her brother and sister. "Tasha," Grandmom said, "remember how your Papa always used to call you precious little girl? Well, whenever you see Papa now, just imagine him saying, 'Hello, precious little girl,' to you. You know that's what he would say, if he could. Will you remember that?" A smile lit up Tasha's face. She quickly went over to the chair where her Papa sat sleeping. Looking at him with love, she whispered, "Yes, Papa, I'll remember. I'll remember for both of us."